I'm going to be reviewing the Holbrook ARMA paddle that is released on June 10th. I've been playing with this. I got a close look at it about 4 weeks ago. So I have about 40 hours logged into it, and I've tried all the different models. This video, I'm going to cover the differences between each model, which one's my favorite, what I think this paddle does well at, and I'm also going to give you guys an inside look on what the paddle looks like and what makes this paddle unique. And also, just a disclosure, I am sponsored by Holbrook, so I am biased, but I thought it'd be cool if I added some feedback and interviews from other local players on what they thought of the paddle. So at the end of this video, I'll put timestamps below. I'll put some B-roll and some player feedback of different levels, so you guys can kind of hear some other feedback that are not biased. But if you guys want to pick up this paddle and support the channel, I'll put discount links down below for you guys if you want to check it out. All right, let's hop into the review. I'll give you a close look here. It's pretty cool what they did. They're calling it dual density. I got the chance to actually prototype their earlier models and give them feedback on what feels good and not, so it's kind of cool. I got to be a little bit part of the process of the development of this paddle in a small way. But let me explain what's going on here. The black part that you see right here, this is actually foam, so it's soft. It's nice and cushy. So around the edge of the paddle, it's got a little bit of a kind of a trampoline effect. It's going to be a little bit more soft. And then the core, this is where you're actually wanting to hit on the paddle, but you have two different densities. Right here, if you can see, it's a little bit less dense compared to up here. There's much tighter honeycombs. The honeycombs are a little bit smaller. And so what that does is, my intuition is the bigger honeycombs have a little bit more give. So the ball stays on your paddle a little bit longer, and it's a little bit springier, a little bit poppier off the paddle. So if you can imagine, it's not as stiff. Now, the stiffer part, the more dense part, on the top of the paddle, when you're hitting the tip of the paddle, I feel like it is more solid so that it's not gonna fling off, and you feel there's a difference. And I think that feedback is actually pretty huge. So when I'm playing with the ARMA, I can tell exactly where the ball hits on my paddle almost as soon as I touch the ball. When I hit here, I'm like, that was a sweet spot. You could hear a subtle difference in the sound. Here, I'll give you a close-up sound. I don't know if you can hear that very well. It's kind of loud in here. But the feedback that I get is you get a really nice pop off of the center, and then the edges is really forgiving. It's solid. So next I'll talk a little bit about the differences in the surface material. It's very subtle. You got raw carbon fiber and you got metallic. You guys know I've been a huge fan of the metallic Aero because that paddle is extremely gritty. But here's the catch. This is the metallic Aero, and you can see that metallic is shiny. It looks like actual metal, very unique. And the surface is like sandpaper. It's extremely gritty. The metallic on the new model ARMA is not the same material. Look, it's not as shiny. Shiny and metallic. It's got that glisten. This one's more matted. The grit is not as gritty. It's still rough, and you could get a lot of spin. I don't think grit always equates to max spin, but it's not as gritty. The carbon fiber is much grittier. You can hear it. The carbon fiber, I felt that this paddle provides a little bit more traction on the ball, and the metallic, a little bit less traction, but here's the catch with the metallic. They're using polyester, so it's a metallic colored polyester for the surface, and it's a little bit softer, meaning that the ball feels a little bit more muted, so it's almost a little bit more quiet when you hit. You get a little bit less pop, so what that does is I feel like it's a little bit easier to control. You do lose a little bit of power, not significant. All to say, if you are someone who really just enjoys control and touch and you want something that just feels really simple and not too poppy, metallic is probably the surface you want to go for. But if you like that crisp, poppy feeling, you're probably going to prefer the raw carbon fiber more. Just because when you hit it with this one, it's very crisp. It's very like pops and it like springs off the paddle a lot faster. Not to mention the increased grit, I feel like you could kind of bite the ball a little bit more with the carbon fiber. I've always enjoyed the backhand slice. Like I love my backhand flick. You know, those are like my favorite shots. With this ball, with this paddle, I feel like I've developed a new way of slicing the ball, especially like a backhand slice drop. It feels really intuitive for me with this paddle because I know exactly where I'm hitting it, and the pop is just right. I used to use a Yola Mod TA, which is, you guys probably know, one of the most powerful paddles, extremely poppy. But it was almost so poppy that the ball springs off and I can't get like that nice slice because the ball is already flying off the paddle. With this paddle, the ball sinks into it a little bit longer, so I've actually like kind of learned a new shot where I really enjoy my slice drops and my backhand slice dinks a lot more because it's so much easier to really get under and cut through the ball on slices, despite this being a 14 millimeter. Also, I didn't mention, but all of the paddles are only 14 millimeter. And I think they said that they designed this specifically to be a 14 millimeter paddle. Like they're not doing 16 millimeter, 12, 11. They're just sticking with 14. And I actually like that because I think this paddle really excels at being a power paddle that you can actually control and actually have touch. So that's the thing. If you want to feel that kind of cut on the ball, I definitely recommend trying out this paddle because you really get that feeling of that ball lingering on your paddle. Similar to tennis, where tennis has strings, and if you're a tennis player, you know what I'm talking about, but you can really like kind of catch onto the ball. You get that with this paddle, which I have not felt with power paddles in general, just because power paddles, ball touches the paddle, boom, it's gone. Like think about a gearbox. Gearbox, you cannot slice very well with those paddles because it'll touch the paddle and boom, it's gone. With this paddle, you can actually feel the ball sink, do your slice, do your spin, and it's still going fast. So it's kind of a weird, I don't know how they did it, but it's pretty cool. All right, so I thought it'd be pretty cool to also give you guys a little demonstration on what the different paddle shapes look like for hand speed. So I'm gonna do a few wall drills. The S is best for hand speed because it's a little bit shorter and the swing weight is not as high. If you're not familiar with what swing weight means, basically if you hold a paddle and you kind of move it back and forth like this, if there's a lot of weight on the top end of the paddle, it's going to feel heavier and it's going to feel a little harder to maneuver. So hand paddles, you're going to feel just a little bit more sluggish. The X has the highest swing weight because look at this bad boy. It's freaking gigantic. It's like a mammoth. This thing is like 6 feet tall. So I'll kind of show you on the wall here. This paddle is going to feel a lot harder. Like I can already feel a little bit straining my wrist a little bit. It's going to feel a little harder for like backhand flicks. And it's a little bit hard to move back and forth. Very slight, but it's noticeable. The T is going to kind of be in the middle, so a little bit more of a compromise. It is a little bit longer than the S, but the swing weight is not as high as the X. So at first, let's hit with the S, the fastest paddle, and hit a few backhands here. Go back and forth. So this feels quite effortless. Like it's really easy just to go back and forth. So if you can imagine like being in a fast hands battle and I need to go back and forth, I feel most comfortable with this one, the S, which is why I prefer it. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have the X, which is extra long. Oh, I wonder if that's why they named it X. But now, okay, I'm sure you can't see it on camera because it's more of a me thing. Like I feel it. I feel a little bit more sluggish, maybe like half a millisecond. And I'll just tell you right now, my forearm already feels like there's a little bit more lactic acid building up just from doing this back and forth, especially after a lot of repetitions. You will definitely notice more of a muscular strain on your forearms with the X for hand battles. Okay, now let's look at kind of the in-between, the T. This one is the elongated handle. Yeah, this one doesn't feel like bad by any means. Like the X feels not great for me. But this one I'm already feeling the lactic acid build up right about now. Okay, let's go back to the S. Yeah, this S, like, the S just feels like almost like a ping pong paddle in my hands. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I can't miss. I can't miss. Okay, yeah. Just a little demonstration. It's kind of silly. It's definitely more of a me thing, but I don't know. Maybe you guys could relate. The S, shorter hand. It's not a short handle. It's a square face. Low swing weight. Very, very whipping. Very maneuverable. Very forgiving with a wide sweet spot. Super, super good for our hand battles. Oh, one thing I also wanted to mention is the stock grip on these paddles is actually really good. I'll give you a close-up here. But do you see the little Holbrook indents? These things are actually really quite tacky. When I first tried this paddle, I didn't even use overgrip. I just straight up used the stock for a long time. Typically, I don't like stock because they are really slick and almost kind of powdery for some reason. But this one, I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear that, right? It's actually decently tacky, and the little Holbrook logos actually give a really nice feel so that it doesn't slip in my hand. And I kind of like how thin it is. Like my hand fits around the handle pretty well. So this is one of the few paddles I would actually play with completely butt naked stock. Like, I don't weight it up at all. None of my Armas I weight. I don't put any edge tape or anything. And I don't even think I need overgrip. I do put overgrip on some of them just to keep it nice and white and clean. But if you're someone who like doesn't really want to bother with overgrip, the stock grip is actually quite nice. So just saying, I don't know if they changed the material of the stock grip, but definitely one of the better stock grips I've seen. So just a little plus side to that. So for the past few weeks, I actually had a lot of people asking to try the Arma paddles, and it's been really cool seeing their reaction and playing with people. We're all playing with trying out the Armas, and I thought it'd be cool to let you guys hear what their feedback is, because they're not biased, they're not sponsored, and there's different levels. So enjoy this next sequence of the video where you can kind of hear some feedback from the community. I did ask them what they liked and didn't like, so you could hear some more critiques about the paddle and like kind of what they wish it was different. But hope you enjoy the next part, and if I don't see you guys around, I'll see you guys the next one.
I think the metallic one is a lot softer. There's going to be a lot more control. When you hit the ball, there's a little bit more of a sensation of the ball sinking into the face as you hit it. This one is like a stiff paddle. So it's like really good for anyone that's like used to maybe a Paddle Tech or Monarch Jelly Bean, just like really stiff paddles that they like that really harsh feedback. You know exactly how you hit the ball. That's what's nice about this. I think this gives you more of a predictable, kind of softer experience. I think when I'm off center and making off contacts, I prefer this one. I think it's a little more forgiving. It could just be psychological, but when you miss off center, you know on this paddle, on the carbon fiber, or sorry, what do you call this one? On the carbon fiber one, yeah. Yeah, I feel like the metallic one is a little softer and a little more forgiving, but that could just be, the feeling of it.
Okay, say something like negative about it. Give a critique.
Critique? I think stock, these, I would suspect that the twist weight is pretty low. So when you miss off center, it makes a different sound. The ball doesn't have as much power, so it's like drops are going in the net when I'm off center. And it's a total difference from when you get it like perfect and the ball just seems to fly. So, I think that's the thing about like just this style of paddle. It's like super poppy and pretty lightweight. So you're dealing with a small, hot sweet spot. And I think that could be solved with weight if you can deal with a heavier paddle. Or some people, they just have the coordination to just, make good contact most of the time. Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the paddle? Oh, would you get it yourself?
Well, yeah, yes. I asked Ed if I could have one, so yes. I just really like how poppy and predictable it is. It's not a paddle like maybe like the Yolas where it'll sink into the face and it'll just randomly just go flying. I think because it's a little stiffer, the power curve is a little more linear. It's not like you randomly like lay into it and it goes a million miles an hour. It's predictable, but it's powerful, and I think it's a good trait to have. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, I do tend to favor a more elongated paddle. So trying out this wide body that I believe is an S, right? Trying out the S, I felt like I was missing a little bit of paddle here for sure, just because I'm so used to hitting a little bit taller on the sweet spot. But because it's so wide on the drops and resets, it felt really easy, especially for the slice drop. There's just so much paddle face, so it's a lot more forgiving. And especially on like the forehand drops too, the simple ones where you kind of just scoop through like this, just to generate a little bit of topspin. It is so wide and forgiving, like I said, that you're able to make a lot more drops for sure. But on like more elongated paddle like this, if you do miss the sides, it's not as forgiving. Even for drives on this paddle, I do use a continental grip for my drives, so I do have to manually windshield wiper for more topspin. But because it's a wider paddle face, the ball is able to leverage onto like the face more because it's wider, and I'm able to generate more of that topspin, which I really liked. And like I said, the drops are really good. The dinking is also really solid. I felt for my backhand slice dinks, it was really solid with this. For forehand dinks, I do tend to hit it a little bit higher on the sweet spot. So I think for me, it was personally lacking here because it is a wide body. But in terms of like power, it's a very poppy, very powerful. I don't feel like I'm lacking in anything like that, especially for a hands battle. I definitely felt like I was able to keep up with Ed, everything like that. I didn't feel like I was behind for sure. And also the grit, it's very spinny, especially for the volleys. I was able to generate a lot of spin. Even when I was reaching, I was able to generate a lot of spin from underneath the net, and it was able to generate a lot of pace. So this was the one that I was using mostly. I really do enjoy it. It's very spinny. The core feels very nice. It's not like, it doesn't have an insane amount of dwell, but it has just enough to where I'm able to control the paddle very well. One critique, it is 14 mil, so I'm not very used to it. I'm used to a more 16 millimeter paddle, but so it is a little bit on the lighter side personally for me. So I would probably add a little bit of weight maybe. But generally speaking, it still feels really good, very balanced. So I like that a lot.
Value for $260.
$260. With code too?
With code, I think it's like $250.
With code $250. I mean, that's a normal price range for paddles these days, especially for Gen 3. So you are paying for what you get, right? I don't know how long this durability is. Generally speaking, I hit the ball like pretty hard, so I break down paddles very easily. Like one of my Eula Pro 4s broke down in about a month. So I core crush Gen 3s very easily. So I would have to see how long this would last. But if it lasts long, with this metallic face as well, I think that it would be a lot more worth your money for some if the durability holds up. So yeah.
Cool.
All right,
Perfect.
guys.
What paddle did you use? What paddle are you using now? What are your thoughts? And just kidding. Just talk.
Let's go with the first question.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, my name is Huey. I'm at the Hub. I've been playing for 2 years. I normally use the Proton and the Eula, and I've been looking for a new paddle. So Ed showed me the Holbrook ARMA T.
Okay.
Felt really good. Felt like it dwells on the paddle, which I really like, and then it was a good balance between pop and control. The grit on it too. You know, like when I did the banana serve, it really curved in that one game. And you told me that my drives were really good. I really felt like the whip out of this paddle. So, yeah. 10 out of 10.
Your placement seemed really on point too.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the feedback on it felt good to you?
The feedback, yeah, of course. Yeah, felt really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got to say a complaint about it.
A complaint.
What did you not like? If you had to critique it, what would it be?
Some more color. I like paddles that matches like my fit. Right now, today, I'm neutral. It actually, if I was using the metallic one, it would like fit, right? But I like all colors.
Okay.
Yeah, more colors.
Thoughts on, so I was using both the carbon fiber one, the Arma S, as well as the metallic one. And I thought that the sweet spot was really good for both the carbon fiber and the metallic Arma S. And then I thought that for me, the Arma S had a little bit more dwell time. So for me, it was a lot easier to tell kind of where my misses were, when I was hitting the ball well. The carbon fiber one was still good, but if just for me personally, I prefer the metallic one. Like most metallic paddles do feel too soft for me, which is why like I've tried other like titanium paddles, other metallic paddles, and this one was definitely not soft compared to those.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it a lot.